Hi everyone, Deanna Clyne here for the Anton Art Center. Just checking back in and seeing how everyone's projects are going. So last time you saw me, I had made some pieces out of some air dry clay. If you happen to have some air dry clay at home, that's wonderful. And I also made a few things out of the salt dough. So if you've made your pieces and baked them in the oven, or you are using the air dry clay, you want to just make sure that you allow your air dry clay to dry for at least 24 hours. I tried to get away with doing a little bit less time before I finished my pieces, but you have to wait the full 24 hours. And then after you've done so, just make sure that you handle the pieces carefully, and you just make sure that you get all of our what we call clay boogers off of the pieces. So clay boogers are just little bits that have been left on your piece, and they usually just fall off if you run your finger over the clay piece. Just be extra careful because you don't want any of the little toes or eyeballs or anything that you added to fall off, because you're not going to be able to reattach unless you use some glue. So you just want to go over your pieces before you start to finish them. So I've done a couple different finishing techniques here. There's a few options for the air dry clay and for the salt dough. So first you can use acrylic paint or craft paint. I did not have any of this at home, so I went down to my two other options here, which are markers. I happen to have a huge box of markers, and I also have a lot of nail polish. So my two choices for this time was I chose to do the markers, which I really enjoyed, and use a little bit of nail polish. So the ones that I've done so far is I used the marker on this little snake here. So I really went for it. I used all different colors. I even did the bottom. And in the little scratch marks that I made, I put one color and then I went over it with the green. I think it turned out pretty cute. And then the other one that I did, I used nail polish on. So this is a necklace. So I think this turned out really nice too. I happen to have this green nail polish, which worked out really well. And I think I'm actually going to use this light yellow nail polish on the back of it. So I wanted to just make sure that the one side was dry before I turned it over and did the other side, so that I didn't get nail polish all over the table or it didn't stick to anything. So let's see here. I'm going to start with the nail polish one. For this, you want to make sure you're using a nail polish that is going to show your design through on the others, through the nail polish. So like a translucent or transparent nail polish, which is what this green is. See, I can still see all of the veining and the leaf that I put. Okay, the back side is completely flat. So that's okay if you use a nail polish that maybe is a little more opaque. Oh yeah, this looks good. So this is like a nice buttery yellow, which I love. And actually on the front, I used 2 coats of nail polish. So I kind of let it dry for a little bit and then went back in and did another coat. This is actually, I mean, you can still use your nail polish after you've used it on here, but I found it's a good way to use up some nail polish that maybe I'm not using anymore. So you can you see that nice yellow color? It might be a little bit hard to see. And then actually I will probably, well, I can probably do the edges. I want to make sure I get the whole thing. So I'm going to carefully do the edges. Really take your time with this. You want to make sure it's finished properly. We don't want to spend all of our time making things and then just rush through this last part here. It's the same with working with clay in the ceramic studio. You want to make sure you spend a lot of time glazing and making it look exactly how you want it to. So it can be something that you're proud of. Okay, I can't really handle it too much because there's nail polish all over the edges. So I'm going to carefully put it down. Probably you might want to wash your hands, but I think I'm pretty good here. So that's the nail polish technique to finish your pieces. I think I'm going to do another one here because I have all of these little beads that I made the last time. So I'm going to try, I have this glittery purple nail polish that I'm going to check out on this bead here. Let's see, actually, remember that skewer that the toothpick we use to make these. I'm just going to put it right back on here. So this is so that I don't get nail polish all over my fingers. Ooh, this is a great purple. So once you've done your coloring on your beads, wait a bit. Obviously, you probably want to wait 24 hours, but you might be able to wait a little bit less. And then you can string these up on whatever you have. Some cording. I think I mentioned before you can use fishing line or there's all kinds of jewelry making necklace stuff that you can buy. But if you're in a pinch, you can find something around the house. An old shoelace. Let's see here. This is a really nice purple. I get so excited about colors. All right. I will probably do 2 coats on this, but I'd want to let this dry first. I'm not sure if you can see how purpley that is. It's kind of hardened where I'm at here, but that's a really nice color. I'm just gonna hold this down here. Okay. And then lastly, I'm just going to show you how to do some coloring with the markers. So as I mentioned before, I really enjoyed this technique. I went in first with the snake and I did all of my carved out pieces. So all of the spots that I put in texture. And then I went over it with the green on that one. So this frog doesn't really have too much texture going on, a little bit around his eyes. So I'm going to start with a light green. Or like a greeny yellow color. Just get into where there's some texture in here. Really press into the texture. Whoops. If you kind of draw over where you're supposed to, you're going to be able to color right over it with another color marker. Especially since I had planned, like, I'm using a lighter color on the indented parts, and then I'll go over it with a darker color. Like go over the surrounding areas. So if you've kind of drawn out of the lines a little bit, that's okay. Markers are pretty forgiving. I'm going to go right into the nostrils there. So cute. So since this is my frog, I could put some spots on him later. I did not put eyeballs on him, so I need to put some eyeballs on him. Let's see how this purple looks. It's really fun having a nice big box of markers as well. Oh yes. This is kind of making him look like a tropical frog. Or an albino frog with some red eyes. Okay. Kind of really am liking layering up the colors as well. Okay. This is nice. I'm just putting, so I drew on like the pupil, which would be in the iris. I guess I drew on the iris, because that would be the color in the frog's eye. I don't really know what frogs have, though, now that I'm thinking about it, as far as the way that their eyes are made up. But I'm going to do it like a human eye. So I've got the iris, the pupil, and the eyeball. Those look cute. Okay, so I just drew those right on. That would be a little bit harder with some nail polish. You'd have to layer it carefully, but with the markers, it's really nice. You can go right in and just layer all of these colors together. So I'm going to put on some spots, as frogs and toads have. Some of these might get covered up. That's okay. I just want to give them a little bit of texture since I did not put texture in the beginning when I first made them. Kind of focus a little bit more on making sure that his feet and hands were how I wanted them to look. I had a really good time with that. Okay, so I've got some spots going here. Okay, this is the next layer, cute little spots. Spots all the way around, maybe even, since he's a frog dish, let's put some spots on the inside maybe. Or you could write your name. You can always personalize pieces, that's always really fun. If you can't remember what a frog or a certain type of frog looks like, you can go online and look, or look up in a book. Maybe you like tree frogs, they're a little different looking. Or maybe you like a certain type of toad. Okay. Now I'm gonna try this green first. You can always try your colors on a piece of paper first. And then I'm just gonna go in, oh yeah, this is a good green. It's very frog-like. So I'm gonna try to go around my spots that I just did. You really wanna take your time. I'm not gonna do this whole thing for the video, but I'm just gonna show you how you can build up layers, and if you don't finish this all in one sitting, you can come back to it. You just really want to take your time so it looks how you want it to. Okay. Plus it is so much fun coloring things with markers. At least I think so. Okay. So let me just show you here. You can kind of see where it's going. Let me get this all colored. Whoops. Okay, I just wanted to show you what it looks like when I kind of color over the texture that I've already colored. Okay, so we're getting some frog colors going on. I'm going around the spots. You can see the spots right here. So I'm going around them just kind of roughly, and then I can go back in and refine them a little bit more. And you want to do the inside and outside, and like I said with my snake, I did the bottom. You can sign your name on it with your marker. You can even do that with the nail polishes. And yeah, you can kind of do whatever you want. So just to recap, as far as techniques to finish your air dried clay pieces or your salt dough pieces, you can use acrylic paint, you can use markers, and you can use nail polish. Okay, and then after you're done, if you want and you really like the shiny look, you can use like a clear spray on them, like a fixative kind of spray or a clear coat on them, and you want to make sure you do that outside, and you want to just spray the whole thing and let that dry, and that'll really seal everything in, just in case something gets wet, it won't run. The nail polish kind of has a clear coat already in it, but if you really want to, you can go back over it with either a nail polish clear coat or another type of glossy clear spray finish. Just utilize what you have in your home. I hope everyone is taking care. Get creative, keep keep making things, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.